Hello friends, today I will show you how we can make prototype of controlling this type of DC motor with IR remote with few components. First of all, we will require one Arduino Nano or Arduino Uno, any one. Then one power supply board for the motor, because we cannot connect directly motor with the Arduino Nano because it cannot provide much power to supply motor. The next thing is we require one IR receiver and one motor controller IC, and I am using L293D, which is sufficient to power 3-watt motor. And one PF capacitor, ceramic, it is also called ceramic capacitor. So we will start building on a breadboard. For prototyping it is very useful. You can connect from the schematic, which I will provide in the video. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just start it from the dot. It is provided on the top of any IC. That dot indicates the left side is the pin number 1 and succeeding are alternative. Like this is pin number 1, 2, this pin number 3, pin number 4. We have to connect this pin number 4 to ground. And it is also mentioned on the power supply board which one is positive and which one is negative. Make sure that this supply from the breadboard, positive and negative, match with supply from the power supply. You need to connect 9 to 12 watt power supply to the power supply board. Make it switch on that will run only the motor and not the Arduino module. For the Arduino module, to connect the cable or to connect the in power supply, but we need to upload the code, so we will connect the data cable into the laptop. Now I will explain you the code. Now I will explain the code for our prototype. First of all, when you look at this hexadecimal number which occurs when we press any button in this remote, it will display or create an hexadecimal number which we have to note for every buttons in the remote, and we can use accordingly to program that button to function our DC motor. And this hexadecimal number is different for different kind of remotes, so make sure you should first write down all the hexadecimal codes, then you can change in this program to use it. Here you can see IR pin, which is the signal pin of IR, which is the third pin from here. It is connected to digital pin of Arduino, and we have declared some of the variables to note the time of these buttons from 1 to 9 to run the motor in for the scheduled time only. From here I have initialized the serial monitor with the baud rate 96W. To use this power button as a toggle switch means that once I press this button, this entire remote will work. Until I press this power button, no button will work. That you can see, none of the button is working. After I press this button, all the functions will get start, just like our television remote or AC remote. Until we press this button, if I press this button, it will enter in this loop, this if loop, with the button press, and it changes its value from initially we have declared as a false, and it changes to true, and if it is true, then it will turn on the motor and start the motor. This start motor we have declared after the void loop, that's here, making the digital low or high. You can change it to reverse the motor rotation. Just make it high here, low here, or high here, so you can change the clockwise 20 clockwise direction of the motor. And analog or right function to run the motor, and this M speed we have initialized as 255, which means it will run at full speed when we start this motor with power button, and it will print motor started in display monitor here, and at last it tells the function that motor running will be true, which we have initialized at false here. Motor running we have initialized false, now it will be true. So it will run, and if it is already running, means this power button is false, it will directly come to else and it will stop the motor. Let me show you how. That's DC motor, it's remote. When I press this button, power button, that's the problem. I didn't turn on this power supply board. You can see you must turn on this power supply after connecting the battery or external source, because we have isolated the supply for Arduino Nano and for power supply board of motor. We need to turn this on. It's working, and now once it enters this loop, because initially it was false, not rotating, so I entered this loop and motor is on. You can see here it's writing in the serial monitor power on, that's this one, and motor start. The motor started the power. that you can see here. That's here. Motor started. And when we need to turn on, it is as the motor is already running, it will directly enter in this else loop and display power off in the serial monitor, and stop motion function will be activated. And the stop motion function is here, that we have done both the direction to high to stop the motor, and analog speed is 0, it means it will stop the motor. Once I press it, as you can see, motor is stopped, and everything happens after delay of 1 second. And the delay of 1 second is very mandatory and important, because once I can comment this, and sometimes what happen, it will not detect any of the some time happen that power button or any of the button it cannot detect, and it will directly go to the else loop, that you can see. Else loop says that press power button to turn on, and let me show you. If I press any of the buttons, just look at the serial monitor. Let me cancel it. If I press any of the button, you can see in the serial monitor I'm pressing these buttons. It is saying press power button to turn on. Until I press power button, other functions will not start. Now coming under the case, if it is on, means after returning from here, it is not true, means it's true. That is, if it is running, then this loop will be executed. This if condition will be true, and it will enter in this switch case condition, you can see. And after that, if I press button 1, that's button 1 here. If I press this after turning on the remote, then let me show you. Let me turn on. Look at the serial monitor, it's turn on, power started, and if I press the button 1, that's a low or first case block in switch case for the button 1. You can see the 10 second is activated, and after 10 seconds the motor will be automatically off. And if I want to cancel at any time, you press button normal, need to power button is down, and suppose I am running at first click for the 10 second. Now my mind has changed, I want to cancel at any time, then I can again press power button, it will turn off. Look at the serial monitor is turn off before the 10 second. That's why we have used power button as a toggle switch also. That's the same condition here, start motor over, it will go in start motor over. And here main thing is that we have recorded the time from where we want to record. That's once it enters this case block, it will start its recording time until it times, and it will further go in this loop which we have defined after the for loop. That's after the for loop, that's a motor is initially after coming from the loop, it is true, and this condition will be true once it gets over 10 seconds, that's 10,000 milliseconds, it will stop the motor. Stop motor condition is here. It is displayed task completed. You can see here task completed. Once if I press any of these buttons, it will show press. Can you see the serial monitor? It's printing press PWR to power on. That's PWR on, this is on. If I press this one, it will turn on. If you want to increase it, press V plus button. I hope you can see. And if you want to reverse the direction, just press this rewind button. Have you seen that? Normal forward direction. If I want to set it for 10 seconds, then I have to press this one button. So once I press this button, this milli time started, and now it will run only for 10 seconds. It is stop. It is automatically stop after 10 seconds. If I want to turn it off, once again I need to press the power button. In the serial mode, it is a task completed, power off, and if I want to press it again to turn it on again, now press power button again, it will turn on. If I have selected in the remote for 90 seconds, that's for 9 button, and anyhow I need to cancel it because I have wrong selected, and at any time I can press the power button to turn off. Look at the serial motor, it's displaying power off. That's the key feature for this prototype. Once again, power on, and I have set the stop button also as a stop button, so it can power off just by stop button also. Task completed, stop the motor. Once again press power button to turn on. If any other button I press, like EQ, it will show function not, you can see function not available. STS function not available. I didn't use this button in the program, that's why. There is one problem in this. One is that I couldn't solve that. Sometimes when I press any of the number keys or any of the keys, it goes directly into this loop. That's function not available directly in default case. That I need to sort out, maybe in future video I'll cover it. But that occurs only sometimes. If I select the 50 seconds mode, and 50-second mode is started, and now if I enter mode 2, decrease the speed, I can decrease, and the time it will consider from where I have selected the 50-second module, the button, and it will all cover under the 50 seconds. After 50 seconds it will automatically stop. The task is completed, 50 seconds is completed. That's why it is automatically turned off. Until how many times you pressed other buttons, it will automatically turn off after 50 seconds. I hope you like my video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel that you can see here, the JG products. Simply subscribe here. You can see in your case it will be subscribe button. You can press subscribe button and you will be notified once I upload any of the video. Thanks for watching video till end. See you next time.